Welcome to the Final Buzzer Podcast, Episode 2. This week we'll be discussing all of the sporting news of the past week. With me today I have Alex, Austin, Noah, Dylan, and myself, Jack. Starting out, let's start with the college football news and games for this upcoming week. It is the start of college football, finally. Thank God it's finally here.
Absolutely. College football is great, man, because not only it's like it kind of gives you everything you like from the NFL, literally, but it just gives you games all the time. There will be football on TV from now until January, and it's the best time to believe. It's Christmas.
It's a great
already.
time to be alive.
Absolutely. Although I'm not a huge college football fan, I do love to see of course, the big name teams. You got Louisville and Alabama coming up.
Who y'all got?
Alabama, man.
I mean, all being U of L students, I think we.
I'm definitely gonna.
I'm definitely going Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way you can look around it. Alabama opens up as a 24.5 point favorite.
You're telling me we're not going to go in there and win? Is that what you're telling me?
Juwan Pass is our only hope, and he may be trash.
Go Cards. I 100% believe Alabama's coming out.
Yeah. They open up as almost a 25 point favorite in a college football game.
It's especially like Alabama's gotten to the point, man, with recruiting with Nick Saban and everything. If you're wanting to play at the elite level, if you're want to play at the National Football League, you go to Alabama.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we can give them a game though. We're obviously not going to win, but I mean,
where's it at?
It's in Orlando.
What? Oh, offsite.
Yeah, it's offsite. Yeah.
I still don't
closer
see
to Tuscaloosa than it is us. So college depth charts, a lot of them came out today. Did y'all all notice that there's the whole QB battle still going on?
That's the big part.
Alabama.
I think that might be a lot of just mind games that Nick Saban's playing right now, especially with other teams.
I mean,
because they can't get a good look at what they're coming up against. Regardless, they can run different sets with quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and things like that.
And I think there really isn't a bad choice. Well, I think he's stuck choosing between the player that led them to the national championship and the player that won them the national championship. So
I feel like you're going to come up in that situation a lot this year where you end up having to find a guy that leads you fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if they know who they're going to choose, whether it be Jalen Hurts or I don't know his last name.
It's an odd name.
It's an odd name. Yeah. But yeah, they're both talented quarterbacks, and obviously you had all the drama with Jalen Hurts, and I fully expected him to transfer this year.
I did too.
But he stuck through it. I think that Jalen ends up not winning the starting quarterback position by midway through the season, and next year he'll be with a different team for sure.
I just think Nick Saban's going to be able to work this out where he can run a doubled quarterback set. I think he can make it work. I'm not saying it'll be the most efficient, but even we saw, just because Jalen Hurts got him to that national championship, Alabama's team that surrounds them is good enough where they can stumble a little bit at that quarterback position and still be national champions.
I've seen a lot of people talking about the biggest question they have is their secondary. They said their secondary is way too young, way too inexperienced, but I don't know. To me, the biggest spotlight is by far their whole quarterback issue they're running into.
All right.
Next big game for the week, Washington Auburn, 6 seed versus 9 seed. Auburn opens up as a 1.5 point favorite. Really, really close game.
I'm going to have to go with the local SEC team here. I just think
again it's an off-site game.
Absolutely. I think SEC teams just play on a whole different level. I'm not saying Washington won't come out and give them a great fight. I think Washington's a great program. But I just think Auburn's got it. They did good last year. They're going to have another run at it.
Definitely more proven.
Absolutely. And especially with I'd say that's the biggest game this week. Two top 10 teams going at it. I think it's going to be a great game, but I think Auburn comes out on top.
I'm going to go with Washington. They always have a tough defense, and I don't think that Washington's running back can outrun them. Obviously, Kerryon Johnson, I think is his name. He was a finalist not a finalist, but he was in the talks for Heisman last year, and I feel like he's going to be back there this year. But I don't think Auburn goes to a bowl game this year, but they don't do as well as everybody's hoping for them to.
Okay.
Quite possibly the second biggest game of the week, Notre Dame Michigan. Notre Dame opens up as a 1 point favorite. Michigan 14 seed, Notre Dame 12.
I'm gonna go with Michigan. I think this is Harbaugh's, do or die year in Michigan. He hasn't really made a big splash there. Like they had high expectations for him, national championship. Like, they had their sights on that when he first joined, but he hasn't really given them anything. It's basically nut up or shut up time.
Yeah. Also, let it be known it's at Notre Dame.
Okay.
Who you got, Austin?
I'm gonna have Notre Dame on this one. I just think the Fighting Irish come out. I think it's definitely gonna be a close game. Like I said, it could even be closer than that Washington game that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I just think Notre Dame's got a great chance to come out. Like I said, be a definitely a contender for that playoff spot.
I have Michigan and a nail-biter. All right, LSU, Miami, two previous powerhouses, still trying to find their way back.
I think Miami, man, especially with all the hype that was going around them last year, with you got the big turnover chain going on. I think Miami's got that swagger back that they haven't had since for a long, long time. But I think Miami, man's they got that new mindset in all of college football that they're gonna come out here, smack you in the mouth, and I love that kind of play style. So I really do think Miami's gonna come out there and just win purely off of defense.
Neutral site game at the AT&T Stadium.
I'm gonna go with LSU actually. They've always had a high octane offense, and obviously we talked about it, last week on our podcast. Those aren't really the most effective, but they draw in a crowd. But LSU has always found a way to make that work, whether it be Les Miles or whoever the coach is. They find a way to make it work, and I just think LSU is gonna they're gonna surprise a lot of people this year.
I'm gonna go Miami. Defense is tough. Virginia Tech, Florida State. Florida State opens up as a favorite, 19 seed, 20 seed.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with the Seminoles on this one. They ended their season last year on a 4-game win streak.
They did.
And
beat Florida, then some nobodies.
Yeah, I mean, a
not
win's
to
a
mention
win.
the 70-point slashing of whoever this is.
But yeah, like they consistently find a way. Jimbo Fisher consistently finds a way to get talent into Florida State, even after they weren't in the national championship picture. I think that they make a name for themselves this year. Maybe not in the ACC.
Playoff bound.
Yeah. But they're
top 25 for sure.
still topping the ACC.
I think Clemson's probably gonna finish one in the ACC.
Clemson first, yeah.
But it's gonna be a battle.
All right.
I think Louisville's not really in the competition this year.
The
Go Cards.
ACC.
Yeah, they'll be third, fourth.
Okay.
All right. We got any news coming out of the college football for today?
Not really. I mean,
other than depth charts, I don't really think there's a whole lot going on.
So everyone's just kind of getting ready and ramped up for this coming up weekend and everything like that for college football to start up.
First game start, I want to say Thursday, maybe earlier.
I think I saw a couple
Well,
games.
there's a couple games.
It might have been.
There's a couple games early, like
I think I
over
saw
the weekend too.
Yeah.
But first ranked game is Thursday. UCF versus UConn. Defending national champions versus UConn.
How do you think they do now that they don't have Griffin and the people that brought them there?
Decent, not undefeated, but decent.
Not national champions again.
And that's a big part, man. A lot of people don't really care for about the NCAA, man. It's just how they determine that. Like, I mean, even if you look at strength of schedule this year, Alabama in no means has a super hard schedule. I mean, outside of SEC play, they play, what is it? Someone from Texas, P. Austin or whatever it is.
No, that's Georgia.
Austin P. That was Georgia.
Yeah,
That plays
Austin P. Yeah. It's like I said, everyone's just going to this like game style right now.
So they have Louisville, Arkansas State, Ole Miss, A&M, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee. They play their first ranked opponent in week 9 with LSU, and then they play Mississippi State, the Citadel, and then Auburn.
Yeah, like I said,
so by week 9, LSU might not even be ranked. So
college football is going to the point now where like you're just trying to put as many points on the board as you can because you're just looking for a spot. I mean that's really what it is. I mean they're just trying to make that Final Four so you can go out and show out.
Well, really that's all it takes if you're talented. You get there, you got to be.
Their playoff system is basically who's going to draw in the most revenue.
Yeah, that's all. That's what it's always going to be about.
That's exactly why Oklahoma made it last year because they had Baker Mayfield, the Heisman Trophy winner.
At that point though, that wasn't known, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. At that point.
At the beginning.
At the beginning of the playoffs, he was not technically the Heisman Trophy.
No.
But he was still
electrifying. Yes.
He was still the front runner, and he still brought all of his antics with him. He was still people wanted to watch him, regardless of how stupid he wanted to act. It's a lot like Johnny Manziel, but Johnny Manziel's more talented. So do we move on? Does nobody has anything else to say?
No.
Move on to NFL.
Yeah.
Biggest news today for NFL: Odell, OBJ coming out with a massive deal.
Absolutely, like I said, that's just that's a groundbreaking deal. He's the highest paid receiver now. I think it's a much deserved pay raise, but I don't believe that much. I don't think he deserves to be the highest. Yeah, I don't think he deserves to be the highest paid. He is definitely a big talent there in New York.
Highest paid receiver ever.
Absolutely, and
that's hard to do whenever you got names like Julio, Antonio Brown, people out there.
If you look at, do you guys know who the second highest paid receiver is? It's Mike Evans.
Yeah.
For the Buccaneers, and
it's
only $15 million less. Oh, it's only $15 million less. But I mean, the talent between OBJ and Mike Evans to me is pretty significant.
A big part of it, I'm assuming right now, especially for an owner looking to pay a guy that much money, you're looking for loyalty at that point. Like you're paying for loyalty. Like the Bucs, if they just lose Mike Evans, like that's someone we've just built off of for years. Like I said, he's jersey sales. He's a face that when you think of the Giants organization, you're gonna look the guy with the blonde hair on top. He's the head and shoulders guy. That's who he is. That's Odell Beckham Jr. That's the Giants. So that's definitely a big part of it. They're going to solidify that. They're going to start an era with OBJ and Eli Manning. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the thing with OBJ coming off of a season-ending injury. I don't know if this is the year to give him the money.
I think it's okay you give him the money, but I just don't like the guarantees that he has.
Yeah, how much of it was guaranteed?
$65 million.
Yes.
That is insane.
Yeah, I think you give him that opportunity to get incentives and everything like that. Similar like you see guys with Gronk or whatever who haven't stayed healthy before. If he can stay healthy, he can earn these incentives. And then, like I said, he becomes a big player for you. The fans love him. You build a guy that's great for your organization. But like I said, I'm all for NFL guys getting paid similar to NBA guys. I think the cap rule is dumb, but I also believe paying someone, what is it? What was his deal maxed out at 1 or 90? How much is it a year?
It's 95. It's 95 for 5 years.
Okay.
And 65 guaranteed.
Yeah, 65 guaranteed.
But it's like that just takes such a cap out of your.
Just looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Julio Jones, Antonio Brown aren't even in the top 7 highest paid receivers right now.
Yeah. But like I said, you have one player in one position.
I'm kidding. That's just the receivers from 2014.
Taking just such a big chunk of your cap space out. And I just don't. Like I said, you get to that point, man, and you start getting dangerous when you got literally an expensive offense to feed.
Like you said earlier, what is that? That's 10% of their cap per year, right?
Yeah, it's something
crazy like that.
On one player who was hurt all last year.
Didn't even play.
Well, I would just like to say before he got hurt, his record or his statistics are his first 43 games, which were all the ones before he got hurt. He had 288 catches, 4,122 yards, and 35 touchdowns. And one of those was his 2016 year, where he had 101 catches, 1,367 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And he finished third in receiving that year behind Larry Fitzgerald and Antonio Brown. So,
that's two names. That's two good names to finish behind.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's two potential players. Well, not Larry Fitz anymore because he's a little old, but Antonio Brown should definitely be getting paid more.
Yeah, he's a new wave of wide receivers that we have. He started in the 2014
Yeah,
draft
that
class.
2014 class
Yeah,
has some hype. Him, Mike Evans, running
Landry.
Yeah.
There's some names in that draft that are going to get paid.
Yeah, like pick number 12. Like, I mean, the Giants, they swung and they got a home run with him. But you know, you gotta think, like, the NFL's got to change how they pay their players soon, because you know, if players are wanting to get paid like this, you're not going to have enough money to pay all of your players whatsoever.
I just think, especially like the NFL, although it's been up and down for the past couple years. I think NFL's on an upward swing here. I believe there'll be room in there to pay players more. I think it's going to only help. As long as, of course, they're not starting to charge fans more for, as you already see with the league pass and things like that. They're raising the price of that. They're probably going to raise ticket prices. I'd hate to see them do that. I hate to see that's how they get their money. Likely situation that they're going to do, but I just hope they can make it a competitive market for these guys, because they work hard for that money. They more than 16 weeks, but it's like you have all preseason, you have all this stuff for these guys fighting for spots, and I just think they deserve to get paid for it.
So with the NFL, I know most of their demographic is older males. The younger audience has started to really push towards soccer and NBA.
I mean, at some points, of course, you look at your main perspective, but I think a lot of women also enjoy watching NFL just because. Granted, they get complicated systems going on, especially you start looking at defense and you talk about schemes and things like that.
But it's a relatively easy game to follow.
Absolutely, yeah. You can understand that when they got to march down one side or whatever, and all that good stuff. And people love hearing those names. That's like I said, you see the guys on commercials. I don't know the numbers on it, but I would bet you'd have more NFL guys in commercials and on things like that than you would see NBA guys.
A lot of the NBA guys do commercials for the NBA.
Yep.
There's a lot of like NBA cares and stuff like that where a lot of them get involved that way. But as far as like outreaching to like different endorsement deals, you do see a lot more NFL guys than NBA.
Let's go ahead and move across to NFL here to the Marcus Lee. I believe it's today or tomorrow. He's going into season-ending surgery. Relatively, how do you guys think that affects the Jags?
I think that the Jags, because he was their number one receiver, you know, at the end of the day, he was the person that was supposed to replace Allen Hurns for going to Dallas. So in order for them to get back that number one receiver, I think that they'll have to sign a big name like Des Bryant just to sit people in seats and to make sure that they have they make sure that they have that one receiver that can make plays. Not necessarily if he can still make it, but he has the potential to still make those type of plays.
He has the name too.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty big blow for a team that needs to capitalize on the momentum they have and just keep rolling. Something like this, like, you know, any setback to me for a team that just needs to keep pushing and keep going. I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
Absolutely, I'm going to say, especially the Jags, their defense got them into the playoffs, things like that. Everyone kind of knows that. But at the end of the day, offense has still got to score points. And with Blake Bortles at quarterback, I just don't see the passing game going right now. I mean, of course, they still got weeks to come, things like that. Could make some trades and everything, but I just don't see it. Leonard Fournette's going to have to put the team on his back and just absolutely destroy this year, which could put him in an MVP category year. I mean, especially if he can carry that the offense like that. Definitely interested to see how Jacksonville pulls out this year because, like I said, people have had a lot of high hopes for him, another playoff run, things like that. But I don't know if I see it with Blake Bortles at the helm of that ship.
Speaking of injuries, I don't know if y'all saw Teddy Bridgewater's doctors came out and said he worked in the battlefield for a long time and has never seen an injury as gruesome as Teddy Bridgewater's. Off no contact, he said he had nothing left in his knee.
That's what I'm saying. I've heard it's just literally just all scar tissue there. I really, like I said, all of us come Louisville, former Louisville guy. I really want him to be successful. That's one guy I definitely want to watch, especially there in New York. I hope he wins the starting job over the rookie. I really do. I think it's gonna be fun to watch, especially like I said, he's got all to prove. He took a small deal.
I think he just needs to get his confidence going again.
He's looked good so far in the preseason.
If he wins a starting job, I think that does a lot for his confidence.
Speaking of Louisville guys, Lamar killed it the other day.
He did. He
He
did. I
looked
saw
really
that. Yes.
good.
He had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown, I think.
I'll pull up his stats real
I mean,
quick.
he was. It was an amazing. I mean, obviously, it wasn't enough to get him the number one spot, but it's inching him closer to where he needs to be.
7 of 10, 98 yards, 1 TD. 3 rushes, 39 yards, 1 TD.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely sold on him yet. I think he will be fantastic at some point. I don't think he takes a starting job this year. What I would like to see from him is I think he looks a little too skittish in the pocket. I think he knows how fast he is, and I think he might, be relying on that a little too much.
I must say, but speed, man, at the NFL level is completely different when you have linebackers matching, getting very close to that 4-4.
You have DNs running 4-3s.
And I think he's realizing that, and hopefully, he can, sit in the pocket a little longer, but obviously, don't stop running, because everybody likes to see that. We all like it, we enjoy it, but I want him to sit around in the pocket and make the best play.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, in week 1 of the preseason, I noticed when he did decide to run, he decided to run too late. So it's like there's a point where you got to stay in the pocket, but like you got to recognize if it's not going to work quicker than what he was.
He's getting to used to that NFL pace. Like I said,
It's tough.
You see like the NFL is just getting so fast and snappy. The average throw to catch in the NFL right now is 3 seconds, something ridiculous. So you have to be able to snap the ball, make a decision, who I want to pass to, and then you have those check downs to, am I going to check down to the running back here in front of me, or am I going to run it, and what do I got open? Like I said, he's getting used to that momentum going on, but the one thing I just don't think either one of these guys have is really options. I don't think they're put in the right option to be successful. Like, Lamar's got Michael Crabtree, who's a great possession receiver, especially down on the red zone, things like that. Chris Moore, Willie Snead are decent receivers, especially Willie Snead's very good. Teddy Bridgewater's got Terrell Pryor, Robbie Anderson, but I don't see them being in positions to be successful. I don't know what that would take. Maybe you have to go back to the Moss era to make these guys look good, but I don't know. But I really want these guys to be successful. They're absolutely entertaining guys to watch. I mean, they're like similar RG3, Michael Vick type guys where hopefully they can throw and they can run and be entertaining.
And I think he will be, and I think he's already entertaining to watch. But I don't think it's this year. I think everything that will make him good comes with, experience and getting a higher IQ.
Getting to learn under a somewhat solid quarterback.
He's a solid quarterback.
Spotty at times.
Joe Flacco is an elite level quarterback. Don't at me, okay? He took them to the Super Bowl, a.k.a. the defense won the Super Bowl, but he won.
True, but spotty.
How many rings do you have? Joe Flacco.
Eli Manning has 2.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Joe Flacco is questionable most of the time.
But when he wants to be elite, he is elite.
Exactly.
I think he's a good teacher.
He's a Jay Cutler type. That's exactly what, when I think of Joe Flacco, it's Jay Cutler. He's got that vibe about him. He's ready to go.
I think he's a very good teaching quarterback. You can get Lamar fundamentally ready.
Except for on the sliding. Joe Flacco does not know how to slide.
Yeah.
To stay with
you gotta think though, sliding wise, it's like Joe Flacco and RG3 that he has to learn from. That's not a good group.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Maybe you'll learn. Maybe RG3 will pass on and be like, hey man, let's not take as many headshots. Just don't do it. Like I said, it just gets bad for you when you take that many hits, and that's what he's got to play smart. He's got to learn when to stop the play, when to step out of bounds, when to protect that $1 million head that he's got on him. Like I said, he's just got to play it smart. I have full faith in him.
Speaking of protecting the head, did you see Cam Newton's dive where he landed on his head?
In the preseason game that didn't matter. Yes, against the Patriots. Yes, I saw that.
That's extremely ballsy.
Yes.
But that's what you gotta love about Cam Newton, though, man. He's gonna put his life out. He's gonna put that body out there. I'm telling you, man.
You love that as a fan, but not as an owner, GM, coach, or
you don't like to see
anything.
it. But Cam Newton, man,
as a teammate
in a preseason game.
Yeah, but it's
even as a fan, you're
super
sitting back there. That's really dumb.
Yeah. Luckily, he came out with no injuries.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's definitely something risky.
I mean, you gotta think he's getting the head ready for whenever he tries to lower his head and truck people during the season.
But like I said, if you look at it like the stats and everything, Cam Newton does get punished a lot more than other NFL quarterbacks do. I think some of it's deserved. Like, I think some of it's, like, not okay. Like, I think some of the refs might look over, like, because he does whine a little bit, like we talked about. But I still think he's an elite quarterback. Just like I said, gotta get those right guys around you. You can't win it alone.
I agree, but I want to see, like, compared to other quarterbacks, how much of the contact he initiates.
You got a great point. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he lowers his shoulder a lot.
90% of quarterbacks in the NFL are going to slide or something. Cam Newton,
it's not. He's a massive man. He has no need to slide.
And that's the thing. And then anytime he goes to slide, when he's ready to slide,
he gets stuck on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's because people don't know. And that's the thing. You gotta. It's rough for refs to determine that rule. Well, when is he a runner? When is he a quarterback?
I mean, now if you look at somebody wrong, it's a flag. So
absolutely.
He doesn't get a few flags.
And that's the thing, like I said, you call them defenseless or whatever it is, like I said, but like I said, when they're past that line of scrimmage, they become a runner, you need to slide well before. And that's I hate that crap where he could have pulled up. You're watching it in slow-mo. This man can't just pull up and evade his route that he's already not necessarily left his feet, which they're not supposed to, but like I said, you can't alter that route. That's just like Richard Sherman said, the new tackle rule is just asking ridiculous things from these guys to do.
Okay, so I do not like the tackling rule. However, I do understand the refs have said that they're going to throw a flag for anything that they think could be wrong because they plan on reviewing it, looking at all the information they have, and making a final decision. So I'm okay with that.
For preseason?
As long as they get it fixed.
As long as they make the right choice while reviewing this film.
See, that's the thing, though, when you expect players to pull up. Players like Lamar Jackson have perfected the fake, like, shoulder dip, like they're going to slide and then just keep going. At that point, you shoulder dip, they pull up, and you're gone.
Yeah.
Lamar is way too fast for you to recover from pulling up on that tackle.
How long does reviewing the plays extend time of games?
I think there's a certain point where they stop reviewing them on the field and it goes up to like New York, like the corporate office and things like that. I'm not sure exactly the time, but it's definitely fourth. Yeah, it's definitely fourth quarter.
Especially with NBA. With NBA, like they'll review a 3, but they won't do it like during game. They'll do it in New York or wherever they review it, and then they'll just tell them they'll fix it on the scoreboard. But it's something you'll never notice happening.
Okay. But that's the thing too. NFL refs aren't supposed to, for personal fouls and things like that. They're not supposed to check replay boards. They're not supposed to. But like I said, it's kind of hard to judge this rule when, and that's why fans are so upset. They see it as a review and not in real time, and the ref might see it completely differently, and it's just rough to tell how that looks in that moment.
I think for plays like that, there should be like a rule saying they have to review it at real time, not slow down.
Yeah, but the thing
they can look at a review, but it has to be full speed.
The difference about the NFL from the NBA also, like you can add. Okay, well he had his foot behind the line. It's a 3. If that's a 15-yard penalty, that's a big penalty. Like especially when you're if you're going marching 80 yards down the field, 15 yards is quite a bit. Like I said, that's a quarter, almost a quarter of your run. So. Like I said, it's a big deal. I hope they figure it out. A lot smarter guys than me are definitely working on this right now.
So somebody that's been performing well in the preseason that hasn't really been mentioned is Andrew Luck. His last week he went 8 for 10, 90 yards, a touchdown, and he scrambled for 35 yards. Like
he's back.
I wouldn't say he's back, but
the GOAT is back.
He's definitely comfortable in his place now. Like he knows that, hey, I got hurt, but I'm still gonna take these hits. Like he's not scared to run the ball anymore.
That's the thing, especially Andrew Luck, man. He just similar to Cam Newton. He's an athlete. Like even though he's a quarterback, people don't think he's fast or whatever. He is an athlete. I think they said he was 6'3" or whatever. He's a bigger guy. Like I said, and he 6'4", and he is not afraid to get out there, run the ball, do what he got to do. But of course, like I said, you always get a little nervous when a dumb quarterback starts running 10, 15 yards down the field, and you got guys like Khalil Mack chasing you down.
Yeah.
So
6'4", 240. He's a stud.
Yeah, absolutely,
He's a massive dude.
Absolutely.
So about the Jets quarterback race, I think Sam Darnold is slowly making his way up. I feel like he's QB2 right now. He averages 5.4 passing yards.
What's your full list? What's your list for the QBs?
It's going to be Josh McCown, Teddy Bridgewater, and Sam Darnold. I'd have Bridgewater over Darnold right now, but
personally, I think Bridgewater needs to be starting. But
yeah.
I think the safe bet.
They're gonna go for the young guy just to try to get it established because he's the future.
Just in the preseason, which again, it's only preseason, but he's nearly 65% for all of his passes. In all of his preseason games, 65%, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Like, I mean, it's not that bad for especially for a rookie to put up those numbers during the preseason.
I think he could outperform Teddy, and more people are going to want Teddy because of the story.
Yeah.
I feel like Josh McCown wins that starting spot though. Like I said, he is a remarkably average quarterback, as in he's consistent.
I mean,
he's
I
a
think
very
for the Jets,
Andy
that's what
Dalton.
they want, though.
Yeah, he's very Andy Dalton.
They don't want anything too good.
Absolutely, that's the thing. But eventually, like I said, they might lose a couple games, whatever it may be, in midseason. Like, well, you got to take a risk. You got to risk it to get the biscuit. And like I said, that rookie quarterback, or like I said, or Teddy will be that option. But they got to be ready.
Hopefully Teddy.
Yeah, and whenever they are called on, they got to.
That's the thing.
perform.
Whenever you call on somebody like that, Teddy's definitely going to be more ready because he's been there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of standout guys in preseason, did y'all see that John Ross play?
John Ross. Hey, some people lost hope.
I never lost hope. Dude was injured the first year. Yeah, I can't really blame him. He was playing.
I think a lot of times
he hit
got
his
blamed the
injury.
coaches.
He hit his injury, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Should have never done that. And he tried to play on it, which ultimately just made it worse. Had he just set out, let himself fully recover, I don't think people would have been questioning him as much as he did. But I think he thought he had something to prove, and now he does because of what he did his rookie season. But I'd like to say that was the Bengals, opening offensive drive, so that was probably, a close-looking version of the Bills' defense, and he took 2 different
I
players'
do want to
ankles.
say one thing. Him turning around, completely useless. He had about a 5-yard gap to the end zone. He just stopped and broke 6 dudes and turned around and went back.
Well, I think that's Andy Dalton's fault.
Yeah,
because he was wide open.
Andy Dalton doesn't realize how fast he is. He underthrew him by about 5 yards.
Yes, he
You
definitely
could've
didn't
led
take
him
into
by 5 yards
He
if
definitely
he
didn't
would've
take
got to it.
in consideration how fast he is.
That's something you got to learn, though. I'm sure he's never played with anybody running a 4.240.
So was it a completely useless move? Maybe. Was it nice to look at? Absolutely.
It looks so good.
And that's
he
like,
broke everybody.
Those quarterbacks just got to get, like I said, he was hurt his rookie year. That's something they got to get on. Like I said, he said, if I'm going full go, I want you to throw. I want you to just lead me. I will catch the ball. I will catch up to it. I will just absolutely. You can't overthrow me. And that's what he needs to tell Andy Dalton. Like he said, just launch it up there. I'll go get it. Just get it out of their hands.
Everybody's talking about the fact that he broke the players at the end. The initial stutter, the initial route running in general, the stutter sent his dude off so bad that he was just gone.
It could have even been called holding because I believe that the player he broke reached out and tried to grab him right on the inside of his shoulder pads.
4.2's had hard to catch.
Yeah. By the time the player actually got a hand on him, he was gone.
But he's got it all. He's got the speed. He's quick. He's like I said, he can turn on a dime. Like I said, he's got it all. It's just will the stars align in Cincinnati this year, and I think especially with that defense working out. Big clips coming out of the preseason, especially at the D tackle front with Geno Atkins absolutely destroying the Bills' O-line and throwing them right into the quarterback. It wasn't even fair to look at, really. It felt bad. It felt like that poor line needed to be put down after that. I felt really bad for him.
Put down.
I'm serious. I'm pretty sure he plays
Retired.
It was really bad for him. But like I said, Geno Atkins, man, he's just after looking at that play, I have so much respect for it. The defensive coordinator, D-line coach called it perfectly. They pulled the DN out far outside to force a tackle out, let Geno avoid the double team, and just absolutely just does what he can do, and just absolutely just forklifts guys. And if opposing teams aren't careful, they're going to end up with the next Mark Sanchez and have a butt fumble on their hands because he's just going to absolutely just surprise them with it when he's back in their face before they turn around.
I think the biggest thing going for John Ross is he's not the first option.
Yeah.
AJ Green is there.
AJ Green will always be the first option.
Yeah, he always
That's
will
the
be.
thing. Even with John Ross, I think he's not even the second option. I think it goes AJ, a healthy Tyler Eifert, then him.
Speaking of
And
Tyler
maybe
Eifert,
not even then him.
Tyler Eifert made his appearance. He actually played.
Did he
Some
get a
Bengals
catch?
fans. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
it
I'm
doesn't really
looking
matter.
sad
As
for
long
him.
as he was on the field, is the step in the right
And he
direction.
didn't get hurt while he was on the field.
Correct. And a lot of fans are mad that he even played because of how big of a risk it is. But honestly, he's got to get hit at some point. He's got to get used to it. He's played barely any games in the past 2 seasons. And we get in the red zone situations, we're lacking a threat right there. Because he was our go-to guy there for a little bit.
Ooh, 1 catch, 11 yards.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's about all we need to see. Just
He
get
can
you
still
one
catch.
and get off. Yeah, I mean,
He has hands. That's all we needed to see.
It's all coming together in Tennessee. You got your speed guy. You got your elite receiver that you can definitely. He's the clutch. He's the playmaker that
Let's
you can
not
count
forget
on.
about your 6'5" Auden Tate out there just chilling.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, you got another big possession guy. You got your tight end who, when healthy, is at the elite level. So I think things can come together. You got how Joe Mixon's gonna turn out. You got a
Joe Mixon's gonna be solid.
possible great run game coming on.
let's just not forget Tyler Boyd either. I'm not saying
Tyler Boyd's there.
he's not even an elite receiver,
Yeah.
but the fact that this receiving core is young and they're learning together and it's growing, and Andy Dalton has looked good.
And everyone's gonna get a trophy.
I think Andy Dalton's got one interception, but that wasn't his fault. John
Don't
Ross
even
fell.
start with me. Don't even. It's quarterback's fault they throw it. That if it's an interception, the quarterback gets marked on it. Okay, it could be bad.
But it's not his fault. The receiver
All right,
fell.
all right. What about this? What about this? So what you gotta look at? Quarterback can throw a beautiful ball. The receiver tips it up. Obviously it's still gonna go against the quarterback, but that's the receiver's fault.
But it's unfortunate. But that's
Bat it down or don't try to catch it.
It could just be a good play on the defense as well. Like I said,
Wide
that
open.
DB. Now, if you're wide open, there's bigger problems there. Then you should probably retire.
Wide
But I'm
open
just saying,
is it the quarterback's fault?
a lot of times those DBs, man, you just gotta respect that defense, man, because they come up, make plays, they knock you. Like I said, John Ross probably got scared there. I don't know exactly. I don't know the play.
He
I don't remember
fell.
the play. Okay,
He tripped. I don't think he got scared of anybody.
but what happens when he steps up there?
Somebody said boo,
against-
he just dropped.
Yeah, exactly. It happens sometimes. Like I said,
He heard feet. is
there
what
are bigger
happened.
there are bigger things going on in that noggin than he's an elite receiver, man. He don't just trip on plays, man. This isn't middle school
Do
football
you
where you
really
got to
call
tie
a
his shoes.
sophomore, may we say rookie
the
Ben Simmons-esque
NFL.
player, an elite receiver?
You said Ben Simmons, but
Yeah, no, I'm saying just like
Oh.
this is his rookie year because he didn't play last year.
No, next year is his rookie year too. You're forgetting.
Oh, yeah, sure. Would you really call him elite though?
I mean,
I think elite receiver that gets saved for Odell, Antonio Brown,
No,
AJ
John
Green.
Ross is nowhere near an elite receiver.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
but he's
and I
still
don't
in
even
the
know if he'll
NFL.
ever be an elite receiver. The point I keep trying to make is he doesn't have to be in Cincinnati. We don't need him to be
No, he
elite.
just
We just need
the
to.
second, third guy.
All he has to do is take pressure off AJ Green.
Is he receiving punts this year?
No, I don't think they're gonna
I
make that
hope
mistake again.
not.
Just to avoid injury and
I'm pretty sure
everything.
that's when he got hurt. Either that or it was like an end around.
Because I could see him being a good Deshaun Jackson type guy.
No, I don't want him back there.
Don't
I
want
don't
him back
want
there?
No.
All right.
Do not put him back there. I get that he's fast.
Well, that's
I
it.
understand
You
that.
gotta
It's
have
not
enough.
worth it.
You got to make those moves, man. Because like I said,
It's
you
not
saw
worth it. It's
the
not
Tampa
worth
Bay game. Tampa Bay game. Adam Humphries goes back there, catches a field goal that they missed, takes it 108 yards or whatever to the house. John Ross, man, way faster than he is. And like
Nope,
I said,
I don't even care. Don't do it.
All
Don't do it.
I'm just saying, special teams wins games too.
I mean, it does, but at the same time, you don't want to risk injury to a guy that you're potentially making your second receiver.
I understand that.
all right. So something else to put in your all's minds. The Eagles, they lost. They haven't won a single preseason game. They lost to the Browns 0-5. But hold on. Their first string offense, when they've been on the field, they've played 10 plays total, and they have scored, or they've had 10 drives, not 10 plays, 10 drives, and they've scored a total of 0 points. And obviously that's without Carson Wentz, but he's still not for sure back at the season opener, or any point this season for sure. But are they in the midst of a Super Bowl hangover, or
I mean, you gotta think there's a point in time where the Patriots will win a Super Bowl, come out, win no preseason games because they just don't care.
Well,
Could be something like that.
well-
They're just relaxing, trying not to get hurt.
Absolutely. That's what I think you said it good. I think they're just on a hangover right now. Like I said, they went and won the Super Bowl. First time the city's ever won a major thing like that. And I just think with all the talent they have, there's no reason they still shouldn't be considered in a Super Bowl picture, especially with the trades they've gotten this year. Malcolm Jenkins, Michael Bennett, and of
Michael
course
Bennett's huge.
Absolutely, you still got that great offense that they got. The only real threat they lost, I think, was LeGarrette Blount, maybe a couple receivers.
Who do you have as your favorite for the Super Bowl this year?
I have the Rams.
Sleeper for me, Rams. I don't know if it's
Sleeper.
necessarily a sleeper, but like at the same time, like I feel like whenever you think Super Bowl, you automatically go Eagles, Patriots,
Rematch.
somewhere in that
Yeah.
round.
Maybe
Atlanta.
maybe
But then,
Steelers.
like, I think Rams are young.
Yeah,
Even if they don't get it this year, they're
getting
up
it
next.
They're getting it within 5 years.
They're next.
They're getting it.
It makes me sad that when you ask me that question, Tom Brady just popped up in my head.
Pisses me off so much.
I don't want that to be my first thought, but it is. You said Super Bowl.
He's so good.
I thought Patriots.
I hate him so much, and he's so good.
That's just the way. I mean, that's where the cookie crumbles sometimes,
Can we
especially in
talk
the
about it,
NFL. It's like, hey, who's going to the NBA playoffs this year?
Warriors.
There you go. Okay. it'd be like that sometimes.
Just as like a
Would've
blemish
guessed.
on Tom Brady, he did make out with his son on a thing, and that was pretty gross.
I mean, he just kissed him on the mouth. I
Open
mean,
mouth. It was weird. It was about what Tom Clean did to his son not too long ago. But
Well,
it was
that's neither
weird.
here nor there.
I get kissing your kids on the mouth. His mouth was open. It was weird.
To be fair though, especially like I said, you seen Tom Brady, man. I think he's just tired of it. He was on a radio show not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
And
He walked out of an interview,
he
right?
walked out of an
They
interview.
keep asking
and
about his
asked
trainer, so.
He
Yeah.
hung up today. I'm pretty sure he was interviewing today, and he just hung up.
He had an interview today, and it was a telephone interview for a radio station, and they kind of hinted that they were going to ask a question about that, and as soon as they hinted that, he was just basically just, yeah, you know what, I don't get paid enough for this, you know, I'm tired of all this harassment that you guys are giving me for
But that's
the
been
trainers that I give my team.
That's been
You
a
know.
big question though, especially like I said, Belichick said enough of it last year. He said if you want to bring your guys in, you can't have him in here. It's no more. We are the Patriots. We're going to keep all that stuff out of here. So Tom Brady and company built a station right outside, and they did all their dark magic outside, and then they went in the Patriots locker room and won championships. So Belichick said, you know what? Well, they didn't win a championship, but they got very close. And he said, you know what? You keep doing what you're doing. We'll make a happy Tom Brady. And we'll be happy when we win. Okay, we'll be happy when we're on Super Bowl 53, getting ring size. So
Speaking of the Patriots, Eric Decker announced his retirement after 2 preseason games with the Patriots.
And is that because he knew he was on the way out?
I feel like that's what it was. He knew that he was on the cutting list, which I mean I feel like he could have made it in Jacksonville because
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if he didn't make it there, I feel like he could have made it
But
somewhere.
I don't know, man.
I feel like he was looking for that ring.
he's been on 3 or 4 different teams. I know the Jets, the Titans.
Broncos, Jets,
Broncos.
Titans,
Yeah.
and Patriots.
He was a decent slot. I wouldn't even say a good slot. He was a decent slot. I think his biggest call to fame was actually his wife. Honestly, like I said, you talk to women, they're like, hey, that's the guy whose wife is on TV, right? You're like, yeah, I guess so. That's the guy, and he's not. Like I said, he's just not. I don't know. He's just not. I think NFL worthy.
So they think of him or Jay Cutler.
Absolutely.
Well, see, I think there's something to be said for somebody who sees the writing on the wall and knows when it's their time,
Yeah.
and maybe wants to get out on like their own terms. So this way, he doesn't have to he doesn't have to get cut. Nothing like that has to happen. He's out on his own accord. He said enough's enough. This way, he maybe can save himself some embarrassment. Not that he would be embarrassed, but he took control of his own career and decided enough was enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you gotta respect that,
But you also got to think too, man. You have stuff like that, but you also have those guys who have late career bursts. Like I said, like you got Randy Moss, who was good until the day he retired. And like, not saying Eric Decker's anywhere near that. Like I said, he played for the 49ers and like also played for Minnesota and things like that. And he made his name in Minnesota. Like I said, and like he even played on the Patriots and things like that. He played for several teams. People kind of forget about that. But he was able to be successful on different teams throughout his career. And maybe that's what Eric Decker was chasing. Not saying there was any comparison really to Moss besides that point, but just putting that out there.
Do we want to transfer to the NBA
I mean,
real
speaking of
quick?
retirements, NBA Manu.
yeah.
That's crazy.
The Spurs dynasty is coming to an end.
That's everybody.
It is.
They're all gone.
Manu retired. Tim Duncan retired. Tony
Tony
Parker
Parker's
went
on
to the greatest
Charlotte
team,
Hornets.
the greatest team that ever exists. Kawhi Leonard
Traded.
deserved to be traded. They're starting a new legacy with
DeRozan.
Pop, DeRozan, and Aldridge.
So,
I got a question. Does Manu's retirement mean that Pop's on his way out soon?
Yes.
How soon?
Well, then again, I don't know. I say yes, but also said yes as soon as Tim Duncan retired.
How many years though has Popovich won like head coach of the year? Like he's been in the name for head coach of the year for several years and has won it for several years in a row. He's a great coach.
Well, he is the number one coach.
Absolutely. Like, so people look up to him. Like I said, he is just that guy everyone respects, and no one's
It's always
going to
be
say
between Popovich and Phil Jackson as the number one coach.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, how many years does he have left, or seasons?
3 at most for me.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 or 4.
I'm saying 2. I think
Two?
I think he has this year and next year, then he's done.
He's been the head coach of the Spurs for 22 years.
Oh my Lord!
It's
How long is
insane.
his contract?
I don't know. 5-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA coach of the year, 4-time NBA All-Star head coach.
He's got the hardware to back it up.
He does.
I think if for whatever reason the Spurs don't make the playoffs, which is not super likely, they'll retire if they don't make it.
That was my next question. They have this playoff, this running where they've made it
Streak.
for what, 20
It's 20-something
Yeah,
years they've made it to the
20,
playoffs.
23, 25 seasons, something like that. Do you see that,
Okay.
not happening
See,
this year?
Popovich
or-
is signed until the end of this year. And he said he would for sure finish out this contract, but no guarantee after that.
Oh, so
There we go.
maybe we got 1 year left. But speaking of them not making it, I like DeRozan as a player.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of young teams coming up. The Nuggets were just right there making it. They have a really potent offense. The defense is a little lacking, but they're getting older. They picked up Isaiah. You got teams closing in.
Now,
Well,
the Nuggets barely lost to the Timberwolves.
And Jimmy Butler wants to leave. So if you don't have Jimmy Butler,
With that being said, Popovich just signed a 4 to 5 year contract extension with the Spurs
Just now?
within the past week. It was it was over a week. It was announced over the summer.
Oh,
Wait, what is this?
To be
This
fair,
says
though,
7 days ago, and then that tweet was from 2014. So I am very unsure now.
but you gotta think, man, they did the man DeRozan dirty in Toronto,
Yeah.
trading him for Kawhi. He was, like I said, he had his whole life set up there in Toronto. He was ready to be that kind of guy that could, like I said, he could be for a team, and they just sit there and they trade him like that, and that's just a rough place to be in.
I think that's one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in sports. You got somebody who is very adamant about loving the community of Toronto.
Absolutely, not even
And
just to see the whole
His
community.
best friend is Kyle Lowry, or at least that's how it seems. And then you got Dwayne Casey.
I say you got Coach of the
You got
Year,
hell
and
of
then
a
you
coach.
traded away your marquee
Everything
player.
looks good.
Well,
You just have a LeBron James in your way.
yeah.
Now LeBron's gone, but you're still scared, so you trade him away for a player who doesn't even really want to be there, and he can say that he's open, but he's not. His mind is made up. He doesn't want to be in Toronto. He doesn't like the cold.
No, he's going to LA. For sure, he's going to LA.
which LA? Which LA
It's a
team?
good question.
That's a good question.
I feel like
I don't know if
he's.
y'all saw Jimmy Butler said he's very open to go to the Lakers.
I did see that.
I think Jimmy Butler goes
Please
to the
don't.
Knicks.
Jimmy Butler, Kyrie to the Lakers?
The only way Jimmy Butler goes to the Knicks is if Kyrie comes with
Yeah,
him.
Yes,
I agree.
yes.
Because he
That's-
doesn't want to go play for a sorry franchise.
Yeah, if those three go on the Knicks with Porzingis, they
And Kevin Knox rising up.
yeah, and Kevin
It's
Knox.
scary.
It's over.
That's your super team in the East.
What do you do in that situation? Is it Kevin Knox plays the 3? Because I feel like he's more naturally a 4.
I would say Kevin Knox at
The 3.
Porzingis
and
at
Porzingis
4.
Yeah.
So, man, I have a question for you.
With the whole mental illness thing going around with Kevin Love,
It's
do
huge.
you think he'll have another breakdown this season?
This season, maybe not. I'm sure it'll happen at some point, though.
Yeah.
Well, so the fact that he's even to me, the fact that he's even spoken about it, and the fact that now more people are aware, maybe it'll cut down on it, a little bit. But I'm not one to say what any one person's going through.
Mhm.
But the fact that he's made people aware about it, he knows that he's got his teammates are there for him, his coaches. I mean, I'm not saying he's not, but I think he, to me, maybe in a better place this year
Less
than
likely.
last year.
And I agree with you. I think the way he handled it was very professional. He did it all the right way. He didn't use it as an excuse. He said, "Hey, this is how it is. I have this thing inside me that I'm battling, and you can work with it or you don't." And like I said, you've had this push recently where owners now want to access mental health records and things like that. And I just think it's ridiculous. Like I said, at the end of the day, yes, you're paying these guys a lot of money, but they are humans, man. Like I said,
Yeah.
you get professional athletes, man, they're starting to get treated like dogs or whatever. Like, they're out there just to fight for you and stuff like that. Like I said, you see, I'm throwing it back to the NFL real quick because it's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. You got Michael Bennett having beer and soda thrown at him or whatever, and he was just, that's a big man. And these fans just think they can just treat on and that's the thing, man. It's all about some like toxic fan bases and stuff like that. Just absolutely treating people like not humans.
You need to have respect.
Absolutely, and I think that Kevin is like, I don't know why I did first name basis there, but I got to know him.
Best friend.
Yeah, but Kevin Love, man, he's going about it the right way, and I respect him for that, and I hope he has a whole change in the whole league and the whole all of sports. I hope he influences it.
Well, like you said with you didn't like it, the team owners and the executives asking for mental health records. I think that's a thing that it's between the owner and the player. If the player wants to release it, they can give it to him, and if the owner doesn't want to give him a contract because they won't release their health records, I'm sure another team would would
It's your
appreciate.
loss, right?
Yeah, I'm sure another team would appreciate his talents, for their program.
But at what point are NBA players held at a different standard than in a typical job situation where you're not supposed to be like segregating based off further illnesses and things like that? I just don't think that's I don't think that's a question you're supposed to ask. I think, like I said, you see that Kevin Love had an issue. You can't just ignore that. But I still think it should be held at a professional manner. And I still think with all that money, I think it still can be held a professional manner.
You guys ready for a hot take?
Sure.
Rockets come out the West this year.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I think Rockets beat Golden State. This may be my inner
LeBron fan.
LeBron love coming out. I think the Lakers beat the Rockets.
See, here's why I say this. So the Rockets were a healthy Chris Paul away from winning.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they did lose Trevor Ariza, and that's a big blow because he's a hell of a defender.
For Carmelo.
But you picked up Carmelo, who's not that good defensively. But hear me out. Hear me out. The Rockets lost because they missed like a record-setting 27 threes in a row.
Stupid,
Yeah.
Outrageous. They don't shoot mid-ranges. I believe DeMar DeRozan himself shot more mid-ranges last year than that entire team combined, and that's a fact. However, Carmelo was the 5th highest in mid-ranges per game. So then you just added a whole other level of scoring. And he's going to shoot that ball. He's going to shoot that ball.
He's 5th highest in mid-ranges taken. The man shoots like 30 shots a game.
I mean, at the
Where
Thunder
does he
Heat.
get those with Chris Paul and James Harden?
See, Chris Paul is a point god.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I think
Yes,
he's going to get the best out of Carmelo.
He still wants his shots.
Yes, I know that, but I think he honestly is going to get the best out of every player.
Not to
on
mention
the
you
court.
have Beard over here. Who he's going to get his 30 shots.
He's going to get
has
his
to take it
MVP.
from
He has to
somebody.
hit him.
MVP. I mean, he deserves the
I don't
shots.
think he gets it this year.
No,
I think
no.
LeBron gets it this year.
No,
because
he-
I would
LeBron
not be
deserved-
surprised if LeBron gets it.
deserved it last year.
Does Anthony Davis get Defensive Player of the Year like he should have this year?
AD should have got it last
Well, I
year.
think Davis runs potentially second in MVP voting this year.
Second or third. I think it ends up being the same top 3 as it was last year.
Like it does every year.
But the Warriors, I guess I don't know. I want something to go wrong with that team.
Yeah.
I don't want the chemistry to work. I want
DeMarcus
DeMarcus
Cousins.
Cousins to get there and just flop.
Snake.
I don't like it. But I honestly think Carmelo makes. I think he fits much better with the Rockets than he did in the Thunder.
Too slow to guard KD.
Well, hang on.
Draymond? Who guards KD on that team, though?
If Cousins comes back on that team,
As good as he did for the Pelicans.
You don't know either, do you?
PJ Tucker.
Because it was Trevor Ariza, but then they lost Trevor Ariza to the Suns of all places.
You put PJ Tucker on him.
Okay, all right.
I stand by it.
I hear you.
You heard it here
I
first.
hear you. I think you'd have a better bet throwing Chris Paul on him, but I hear you.
Clint Capella and Cousins, obviously.
Clint Capella and KD.
But look,
And let's not forget how good
Probably.
Clint Capella is.
He is.
He's a
solid.
traditional
He's
center,
solid.
but he will catch any ball you throw up there.
I'm just saying, if Cousins comes back as good as he played for the Pelicans before he got
Oh, it's a
hurt,
wrap.
does that mean?
It's a wrap.
82-0.
I mean, the Rockets definitely aren't beating them then.
It's a wrap.
But
For
here's
sure.
the thing. DeMarcus Cousins will help a lot, but he's not 1, 2, or 3 on that team, I don't think.
No,
I think it's 3.
Well, he didn't sign it because
Yeah.
he wanted to be number 1 or 2 on the team. He wanted it. He signed it because he wanted a ring.
And he will not be on that team next year.
I don't
Oh,
even know.
no,
he will not be on that team
For
next
sure.
year.
Not
For
for
sure.
5.3 million.
The
He's
way
gonna
to
go
go.
sign a max somewhere.
I don't even know
Comes
if it's,
back to the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't even know if it's that, but I just think
I'll take him.
he's had these injuries and everything, and I feel like any other team who's going to sign an all-star like that is going to want him to play almost immediately. At the Warriors, he's got that time. If he needs more time to develop, okay, we got Katie, we got monsters that can be okay.
I don't like the story arc that they put out there that no one else offered him when the Pelicans offered him a 2-year, $40 million deal.
Yeah, it's complete crap.
Yeah.
They made him seem like he got like put to the side as an afterthought. He didn't. They threw $40 million at him.
No,
He thought he deserved more.
For sure.
So.
We just didn't offer him a second offer after he turned
Well,
that
why
one
would
down.
you? He to your face was like, no, it's just not good enough, and you guys don't have another offer. There's nothing else to give there. You don't give a player who ruptured their Achilles.
You don't give him $40 million.
Yeah, you don't even
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, so he was getting lucky with just that. And then
It's like Nerlens Noel a couple years ago. Whenever he turned down a 4-year, $80 million deal, and then turned around and signed a 1-year, $4 million deal.
Yeah.
and he fired that agent. He fired that agent real quick.
So I did see something that was I thought was kind of interesting. It was a WNBA player, Skylar Diggins-Smith. She plays for the Dallas Wings. She wants to be paid like a regular NBA player, but should that be the case?
Don't get me wrong. They play the same game of basketball. They do everything the exact same. They don't make the money that the NBA makes. They don't have the
They also
resources.
don't play as long either.
Yeah, they don't have the resources to pay their players like NBA can pay their players.
Yeah.
They just don't have it. It's
I'm
not feasible.
fine. I'm fine with us making just as much money as NBA players if they bring in the revenue to justify
Yeah,
it.
They don't have it.
Which they don't.
They'd be going. As a league, they'd be broke in a year if they decided they wanted to pay their players like
but
that.
if they can somehow bring up the revenue that the NBA brings in for their players, for sure, pay them the
And
same
I
amount.
understand that she's frustrated, but you got to look at it like, as reality. I mean, you can't justify that.
It's not as big a market.
I would say absolutely. If you can bring in the market and things like that, absolutely, you get yours, girl. Like I said, you go and get your money and everything. I just, like I said, sitting at 5'9", seeing no one, like I said, there's just no electrifying stuff there. And, I mean, I don't know, man.
These players, they make at most $100,000 to $150,000 a year here, but then they all go overseas and they.
But
Brittany Griner signed like a $4 or $5 million deal over in Russia, where she plays half the year in the freezing cold and half the year here.
Yeah.
But you gotta look too. Even then, just playing basketball for $115,000 a year, which is good. In any, granted, like I said, we're talking about this, and then we say Odell signs for like $90 million.
Yeah.
And of course, you see that wage gap.
Well, but you gotta think, you're still playing basketball for a very livable wage.
Yeah. I mean,
$115,000 a year is crazy.
yeah. I mean, that's I would do that.
I think
I would also
Who did you say played half the season overseas?
a
Brittany
lot
Griner.
of the players do.
So
Brittany Griner in particular.
they can afford to do that though because they don't play as long.
Yeah.
NBA players can't play in two
They play.
leagues.
They play 82 games. Yeah.
Well, a lot of them do though. A lot of them play Drew League in the summer, which they're not paid for. It's like a
Not
to
like-
have fun, but
not like paid
Yeah.
leagues.
But one of the things definitely, like, if you look at it, the NBA players, they earn 50% of the league's revenue, while the WNBA gets 22. And I guess that might come from numbers-wise. The NBA obviously brings them more money, so they can operate on less. But the WNBA players don't get a percentage of jersey sales either. So even if you're a big name, you're not getting benefits from selling your name. And I guess
They don't get jersey sales?
no, that's what I just saw on according to Forbes. But like I said, that's got to be frustrating from that point. Yes,
sure
I
it's
can
very
see get paid less because you don't bring in the viewership. But the fact that you're not treated like, well, my jersey sales and my just because you don't get money off those tickets as much as an NBA player would.
I feel like
But
that should be the same.
I wonder if they got the money off the jersey sales, how much of the league revenue that would cut into.
True.
I wonder if that would bring them up to the 50% mark,
'Cause-
over the 50%.
But it's $100 jersey though. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
think-
they-
I don't know.
How
but
many
if you
jerseys
sell-
do they sell?
I'm
not
not
sure.
I don't know. I'm not saying it'll make a huge difference, but I still think it should be equal in the fact and give them absolutely every opportunity to come and be bigger than the NBA, even though it may never happen. But like I said, they should have that opportunity in front of them.
I did see where she tweeted that refs make more money than some WNBA players for ref for the NBA.
No, the
and-
high skilled leveled like WNBA players only making a little over $100,000 a year.
She did say 12th man on some NBA teams make considerably more money than they do.
Well, the league minimum in the NBA is $495,000.
Yeah. I mean, but
It just goes back to revenue. I feel like
It 100% does.
you got to live within your means, and I just don't see that WNBA comes up with that money
yeah.
to pay
It
their
sucks.
players anymore.
I mean,
yeah, it's a cold reality, but it's the one we live in. And
the
I don't
good thing
understand
is, though,
how we
like-
can fix it.
the good thing is the WNBA is on the rise. Like,
No, it's true.
more people are watching it. Like, if you would have talked about the WNBA 5 years ago, people wouldn't know who the LA Sparks are. Like nobody would know who any of these teams are. But now they're getting more of an audience because they're drawing more attention to it.
And I love the NBA uses their platform to kind of push it a little more.
Yeah.
I like that they're connected in a way that they both try to promote it. So I don't like seeing this kind of feud on Twitter because I feel like it may hurt your partnership a little more because you got one side that wants to help and the other side's frustrated.
Yeah.
But I understand the frustration, but I'm just not sure how to fix it. How do you convince millions of people to tune into something that
They don't want to.
they don't? Yeah, that they're not used to watching.
Okay, Brittany Griner, who's one of the better players in the WNBA, made $61,800 last year
Off salary.
off salary. Yeah.
Okay. All right. One last thing. We'll leave us out here. What do you think? The NBA obviously is probably one of the biggest and most enjoyed fan bases in sports. What do you think makes them so successful versus the NFL, where people seem to always hate on Roger Goodell and just the ruling system and everything? What makes the NBA so much better?
Can you phrase that for me one more time?
What makes the NBA such a better league to watch and follow than the NFL?
So I feel like part of it has to do with the commissioner. I mean, Roger Goodell has made some questionable.
You mean voting to raise his own pay? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like he's made some questionable choices. But I mean, also the NBA they have a vote coming in 2020, I think, 2019, something like that, about the age minimum for a player in the NBA. I feel like that will define whether or not people support Adam Silver.
Well, not to mention basketball as a whole is just a faster paced game.
Yeah,
it's
faster.
more it's more interesting to watch. There's more action throughout.
I think
the
it's
recognizable
tournament.
faces.
I think a big thing is that the NBA works with their players.
Yeah.
So the NBA players have their own group that is constantly communicating
Well, so
with
does
the higher ups in the
yeah,
NBA.
but that's the thing.
But the NBA works better with them. They actually,
Yeah,
I think the
they do.
NBA actually listens. They
Yeah.
take into account what their players really want. And they
The
do what
mental
they
health
can.
thing. That's
I mean, stuff like
that's
that.
a
Yeah,
thing.
but they do what they can to actively. They're listening. They want to make the game better. They hear what players are saying about the age restrictions.
I was gonna say, you can see where the NBA is trying to do things fans and players have wanted to happen for a long time.
And that's what I refuse to believe that it's because basketball's more entertaining to watch than football. I just think it's the way that, like I said, the way they handle it. They have the NFLPA, and the NFL passed the rule. Well, we're going to pass the national anthem rule, and then another player's like, no. Like I said, no. We're gonna, like I said, that's constitutional right. Like I said, we should have that. Like if we're gonna work for this money, we should have a say in what we do. And they're just, like I said, the players, it's pull and take from the players versus the owners and things like that. And you get something that just, it works well on Sunday nights, but when you get up Monday morning and got to go to practice, no one likes each other. And it's just rough. And you can almost feel that, especially, like I said, you have the forced interviews and things like that. These players just aren't happy playing football. That's why Marshawn Lynch went into retirement a year early. He's like, I'm not having fun anymore.
And it's
So you
not
don't wanna be
fun. It's not fun to watch players who aren't enjoying what they're doing, because it's hard to support a team when your team is fighting itself because
Exactly.
you don't know who to back up and nothing feels right about it.
Exactly.
If the players don't want to be there, the fans don't want to be either.
Exactly.
Very true. And on that note, thank you for tuning in to Final Buzzer Podcast. Same time next week.